I've been doing this YouTube gig for going on 5 years now. I'm a retired financial advisor, and I wanted to share my knowledge with people. And as I've gotten into it, I recognize that there are about 150 active YouTubers who talk to people about the investing in the stock market. And some do parts better and some do other parts better. And I realize there's a lot of people who are better presenters and go into more detail and have better presentation skills and have better graphics than I do. But I think, on the other hand, I think I have mastered AI better than most, if not all. And so I have a quality that I think is important. But I said to myself, I'm denying my tribe if I know of someone who gives a better presentation on a stock and explains it and makes it more understandable than I. So why don't I promote them on my YouTube channel? Why don't I say, if my goal truly is to make you a better investor, then I need to be open and share with you that somebody does this part of the business better than I do. So listen to them if that's what you want to do. And I was watching. I've come to know Alex of ticker symbol U, and I really admire his presentation skills. And I know I have met the person who edits his videos, and he does a superb job. So I was watching a video that he did on Vertiv. Vertiv is the company that is partnering with NVIDIA and the other hyperscalers to make sure that they have the most up-to-date cooling systems on their on the racks that they have in their data centers, so that they can get the maximum efficiency and displace the heat as best they can. And he did such an outstanding job on explaining that I want to share it with you. I want to share just bits and pieces of it. But then I want to tell you that on my website, Best of Us Investors, you're going to find on Kerry's tell sheet a new column, and it's going to say Best of Them. And that is to say, I am going to search the internet or YouTube for the best presentations on the stocks that I believe and that Samantha and Bart and I have projected are going to be the stocks we want to hold, who are going to give us a greater than 100% return on our investment over the next 3 years. Alex does, as I said, a phenomenal company, our job. He does a breakdown of their finances. But what he doesn't do is, and what I don't think much of anybody else does, is introduce you to the skills of artificial intelligence so that you can have a financial analyst comparable to a Wall Street analyst give you some indication as to what the probable price of that stock will be in the next year, 2 years, and 3 years, and in this case, till 2028. So I want you to see a little bit of what Alex does, and then I'll put the link in the description for the full video, but this is going to be a part of our offering through Best of Us Investors. And in fact, what I'm going to do is go to my tribe members, of which there are approaching 1,000, and say, if you find a video that is really good on one of the stocks that we're tracking and following and we believe are going to get 100%, or a video that sheds a different light on it, share it with me. Come to my office, Kerry's office, on the Discord and say, Kerry, this is a video that everyone in the tribe should see, and I'll post it there so that you'll have a link. And if it's Amazon, Google, Apple, Tesla, Palantir, this is what my tribe, 1,000 people, feels is the best video on that stock. So here's Alex and ticker symbol U, what I think is one of the best presenters in the YouTube community.
Around 90% of all server racks are air-cooled today, but industry estimates suggest that up to 80% of that will eventually transition to direct-to-chip liquid cooling, which coincidentally is up to 3,000 times more efficient than air cooling. As a result, analysts currently expect the liquid cooling market for data centers to almost 5x in size by 2033, which would be a compound annual growth rate of 21% for the next 8 years. But if you watched my previous video, you know that NVIDIA's Blackwell and Blackwell Ultra systems require liquid cooling, which means any data center looking to upgrade must transition to liquid cooling first. And since NVIDIA is already shipping Blackwell systems, I think this transition will be much bigger and happen much faster than most market analysts expect. That's why I think Vertiv Holdings is a solid investing opportunity right now. Vertiv Holdings provides a wide variety of integrated end-to-end power and thermal management systems for existing data centers. For example, their Liebherr liquid cooling systems provide liquid to air, liquid to liquid, and direct-to-chip liquid cooling, depending on what the data center needs. Direct-to-chip liquid cooling is where a heat-conductive copper plate is physically mounted to the chip. That plate is connected to two pipes. One pipe brings in cool water to absorb the heat, and the other pipe moves the hot water away. And liquid-to-liquid cooling is where that heated water gets piped over to the building's chillers or cooling plant before being sent back to the server racks to absorb more heat from the chips. That's the two parts of the cooling loop required to run NVIDIA's Blackwell GPUs at scale. Another special thing about Vertiv's cooling systems is that they're modular and can be scaled to up to 600 kilowatts of cooling per unit, which means that hyperscale data centers can add liquid cooling to 5 120 kilowatt Blackwell racks at a time, or they can quickly retrofit their existing facilities to support them without other major infrastructure overhauls. That's why Vertiv supplies critical cooling solutions to all three hyperscalers: Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure. Vertiv also supplies core power systems like their Liebherr EXL, which is a high-capacity uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, which is specifically designed for hyperscale and cloud facilities because it supplies huge amounts of energy at very high efficiencies. And their Liebherr APM2 is a modular UPS that's designed to protect data center hardware from unexpected power failures or surges by instantly switching to battery power when the main grid loses electricity. That's what protects high-performance computing and dense AI clusters worth billions of dollars from suffering sudden downtimes. And because it's modular, it can support any size of data center by growing capacity as the data center's needs expand. And now that we understand how Vertiv makes their money, let's walk through their latest earnings, their biggest potential catalysts, and of course, their risks. Vertiv reported $2.64 billion in net sales for the quarter, which is up by 34% year over year and 10% over their prior guidance. Their adjusted operating profits came in at $490 million, which is up 28% from last year and 11% over their prior guidance. As a result, their adjusted earnings per share came in at 95 cents, which is up by 42% from last year. Vertiv's adjusted operating margins went down by 1.1%, from 19.6% last year to 18.5% this year for two key reasons. First, they're ramping up or acquiring new manufacturing sites, which comes with startup expenses, workforce training, and process adjustments before reaching normal operating efficiency. And second, they had to move some of their manufacturing and assembly operations to reduce supply chain risks and avoid tariffs on their imported components.
That's Alec of ticker symbol U, just a top drawer presenter. And I'll put a link to the rest of the video in the description. And if you want to know more about Vertiv and how he presents, by all means, put him on your must-watch list and learn more about the in-depth and how of the companies and through his presentation. Again, my objective is to make you a better investor, and I have my limits. I recognize that. There are people out there who do better at some parts of this business, but I think that we have, at Best of Us Investors, through Mark and Trent and I, have honed in on this artificial intelligence element that we can give you the analysis through Samantha and Bard that is comparable to what you would pay thousands of dollars from Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan or whomever, any of the hedge funds. It's there because the knowledge is there. It's on the internet. You merely need to know how to probe the prompt so that you get the information that you need. And then the beauty of what we're doing is I have it reviewed by 1,000 people and they ask me questions, and that causes me to go in a different direction. More recently, as a result of the stock talk, I'm getting requests from people like Roger. He asked me to compare CoreWeave to Nebitus. And when I did that using Samantha, I learned a lot. I then shared that with my tribe, and we adjusted the allocation that we made to those two companies as a result of what we learned from the deep dive. Artificial intelligence is creating a new way to invest. I want to help you make the most of it, and I don't want to limit it to my knowledge. There's a ton of knowledge out there, and if we can help you find it so that you can make better investment decisions, then as a community, we will thrive.